Coming to you live from the fabulous Mediaplex in downtown Windsor, this is a St. Clair College journalism presentation.
Hi, I'm Kenton Wolf, and you're watching Mediaplex News Now. Though the special day may be months away, brides and vendors gathered to talk everything wedding at the Chicharo Club's annual Wedding Expo. Haley Trelo reports.
The 13th Annual Wedding Expo filled the halls of the Chicharo Club on the weekend of January 10th. An attendance of over 3,000 brides, friends, and family had the opportunity to walk through the event where over 140 local vendors set up their booths. Maurizio Tabera was the director of the expo and said the event was meant to have something for everyone.
We try to show the fashions of the couture of the year, that's upcoming season, and we get about 12 to 13 vendors that actually show all their latest fashions. So it's a really good way of seeing what's out there and the styles that you like. And so, because everyone's so unique, we try to mix it up.
Future bride Crystal Mayer went to the expo to find the remaining items on her list after hearing about the event on Facebook.
Well, it's very helpful. I came here last year actually, so I had lots of ideas and had a lot of answers or questions answered, and actually my cake decorator is here, Marcy. She's a really nice lady, so I went with her, and that was through coming here last year.
The next Wedding Expo will be in September of this year. Reporting from your Happily Ever After, I'm Haley Trelo with Mediaplex News Now.
Great to see so many couples getting married. Let's check in with weather specialist Haley Trelo, who is standing by outside. Haley?
Well, Kenton, it's a little bit chilly out here. The January thaw is definitely behind us. Tonight we can expect -3 degrees, partly cloudy skies, and no snow just yet. I'll be back a little bit later to discuss the rest of this week's forecast. Back to you, Kenton.
Ever wonder what your future holds? Our own Alice Hewitt visited Windsor's Psychic Expo at the Komodo Club to see what was in her stars.
For those looking for an insight into their future, the Psychic Expo was the place to go. The weekend-long event, known as Windsor's largest international psychic expo, was held at the Komodo Club. Psychic Charlotte Sivak said there is no judgment in regards to the diversity of participants.
It doesn't matter what denomination, religion, or spirit you are. We're all here as one, and we're all here to help. So, you know, go with what you feel. You walk around, see who you feel the most drawn to. That'll be the right one for you. And we're all here to help. So come on down.
The expo showcased a variety of psychics with varying abilities, from tarot to artwork readings. Linda Fulcher runs the event and classifies herself as an electric psychic. Fulcher said the expo gives people the benefit of going to see a psychic.
It's really great because the psychics are constantly becoming more experienced and taking courses and learning more so that we can help the public, because the public are also developing their ability. So it's just, I don't know, I guess it's like anything, like any field, right? Like whether you're studying medicine or law, it's always evolving.
The expo also hosted a number of booths, selling everything from moon phase jewelry and crystals to diabetic socks. Adam Hawke said he came out to the event to see what it was about, but said he won't be back.
I believe certain people have psychic abilities, but I believe most of the people at this Psychic Expo are probably charlatans looking to make a quick buck.
The Psychic Expo will be returning on August the 16th, 17th, and 18th here at the Komodo Club. Reporting for Mediaplex News Now, I'm Alice Hewitt.
Wind turbines are spinning their way into the Chatham-Kent area. As Andrew Marchand explains, these metal giants are causing quite the stir.
This is Chatham-Kent, a municipality in southwestern Ontario comprised of mostly rural communities such as Blenheim, Chatham, Dresden, Ridgetown, Tilbury, and Wallaceburg. Chatham-Kent has a population of over 100,000 and is known as the car capital of Canada. But what makes Chatham-Kent unique is that it's the perfect place for wind turbines.
Chatham-Kent finds itself sitting on the shores of Lake Erie and Lake St. Clair, and if one was to go to the Federal Environment Canada site, they have a wind atlas there which shows where you would find good winds at 80-meter height, And sure enough, Chatham-Kent is a prime location for these heavy winds, and certainly that being the case, wind developers come here and they set up these temporary towers and for a year or so, and then find if there really is actual good wind here, and the history shows that yes, there is good wind here, and so the developers want to come here and develop wind farms in this area.
Because of the flat topography, Chatham-Kent is the perfect place for wind farms.
We have currently operating 211 wind turbines in a number of different wind farms. Some of the smaller wind farms, that are made up of 4 or 5 turbines, they put their power into the local distribution system. The larger wind farms, which are between 40 and 55 wind towers, they feed into the Ontario power grid.
But what does this mean for Chatham-Kent?
When they're being built, there's construction jobs, in pile driving, in putting the concrete down, building the tower, crane work. There's all kinds, like hundreds of different jobs to be had when constructing. When they're in operation, there needs to be a wind turbine tech who will take care of all the power electronics, all the operating systems on the inside of the turbine. And there's usually about 1 wind turbine tech for every 10 wind turbines.
All of those jobs contribute to economic growth within the community.
As a matter of fact, last year, unfortunately, like so many other communities, we did not have a lot of industrial or commercial growth, and all of the growth was with the wind farms.
Though, with all the positive sides that come with wind energy, there are still many who claim that the turbines are too noisy and are causing health problems.
Some of our other local authorities and provincial authorities have to date looked and said there's nothing conclusive, and they've done extensive research around the world to see if there is any problems with it, with health concerns. And there is an ongoing study with the federal government at this time to either prove that there is or there isn't, one way or the other.
It's usually misinformation of the people that, they've been told something, it's word of mouth. Oh, well, this does this to you, and it's bad propaganda. There's wind groups, for instance, in Chatham, the South Wind Action Group, that is telling everyone, stop the wind turbines, just be on bad information, and they just keep purveying that bad information to everyone.
Misinformation or not, what good the turbines are doing for Chatham-Kent seems based on opinion. Most say they are part of progress in working towards a greener tomorrow. CanWe President Robert Hornung says that projected growth in wind energy means over 12,000 in new jobs and over $12 billion in new investment by 2018. If you would like to know more about the turbines, please visit southkentwind.com. I'm Andrew Marchand, Mediaplex News.
Now let's whirl on over to Haley, who is standing on the very frosty corner of University in Victoria. Haley?
Thank you, Kenton. Did you know that the technique of measuring wind chill actually started during the Second World War? Scientists started exposing vials of water to extreme winds below 0 degrees. Let's check out this week's forecast. Wednesday will be partly cloudy with a high of 2 and a low of -5. Thursday will be partly cloudy with a high of -1 and a low of -4. Friday will also be partly cloudy with a high of 1 and a low of -4. Come on out and join us next Tuesday, the 22nd, where St. Clair College will be hosting the event designed to bring together companies actively recruiting students and graduates in all disciplines and areas of interest. That's it from the corner of University in Victoria. I'm Haley Trelout. Back to you, Kenton.
Thanks, Haley. This chilly weather is leaving many with a cold. We here at the Mediaplex are committed to keeping you up to date, healthy, and informed, and would like to introduce a new segment, Health Minute. As I explain, preventing the flu should be on everyone's mind.
Are you at risk? With temperatures rapidly rising and falling like we saw this weekend, it seems like everyone is sick this time of year. That often means the flu. Influenza is a respiratory infection caused by a virus. According to Health Canada, there were nearly 100 reported cases of the flu in the first week of January. This is added to the staggering number of 4,000 cases reported this winter. It is estimated that between 2,000 and 8,000 deaths related to the flu every year in Canada. So what can you do to protect yourself? Health Canada strongly recommends the flu shot for those who fall into the following criteria: adults aged 65 and higher, children aged 6 to 59 months, pregnant women, and healthcare professionals. People with certain health conditions should also consider themselves a candidate for the flu shot. While this select group is the most at risk of influenza, everyone should consider getting the shot. Should you choose not to receive the shot, take other precautions like staying hydrated, washing hands, and avoiding public items such as door handles. I'm Kenton Wolf, and this has been your Health Minute.
Though health is important, there's nothing I love more than a good burger. As Ashley Godin reports, some Windsorites are kicking their meaty treats aside for a holistic diet.
Think you've got what it takes to go vegetarian for a month? Then join the Hospice of Windsor and Essex County's 3rd annual Veggie Challenge. The event aims to get participants eating healthier by incorporating vegetarian and vegan dishes into their diets. Naturopathic doctor Jennifer Strong created the challenge after taking on a vegan lifestyle herself.
So between my naturopathic background and then watching more of the animal rights videos, I thought I'm going to go vegan for a while and see how I do, and it was quite successful. So I remember thinking, if a lot more people knew about this, I'm sure they would eat the same way as well.
According to fellow naturopathic doctor Sarah Henderson, there are several benefits to going veg.
Research does show that vegans are lighter and have a lower BMI than meat eaters, so that's something to take into consideration. Now, research does suggest that vegans and vegetarians may live longer and healthier lives.
Husband and wife Darcy Haggith and Brenda Becks spoke at the workshop about their vegan experience. After trying to lose weight through a ketosis diet, the couple wanted a healthier approach.
When you read it, when you see it, when you know what the data is, you can't unknow it anymore. So, if you really don't want to get into this kind of stuff, don't even ask any questions. Because then you've got to decide that you're going to turn your back on knowing what you should be doing for yourself and for your family.
So whether you're a typical meat eater, a pescatarian, a vegan, or a vegetarian, the Hospice Veggie Challenge has something to keep everyone healthy. Reporting for Mediaplex News Now, I'm Ashley Godin.
New year, new faces. The Windsor Spitfires hope their struggles are over with the addition of several new players. Rob Bennion heads to the rink to tell us more.
The WFCU Center is a much happier place these days. After watching his team lose a season-high 7 straight games to fall out of a playoff spot, Windsor Spitfires general manager Warren Reichel knew his team needed a shakeup. In the days leading up to the OHL's January 10th trade deadline, Reichel pulled off a series of deals to improve his forward group, bringing in Alex Aliardi, Remy Giftopoulos, and welcoming back Alexander Koklachev from Russia. However, it was the team's defense needing the biggest upgrade.
We've shored up the offense a bit. I think it's a goal a game better up front, but I think we got to address something at the back as well.
After dealing Captain Severio Poza to Guelph for a 4th-round draft pick, Reichel scored big, landing Peterborough Pete's captain, Slater Cuckoo, in exchange for forward Michael Clark and 2 second-round picks. Cuckoo was selected 10th overall by Steve Yzerman's Tampa Bay Lightning in the 2012 NHL entry draft, and is among the best defensemen in the OHL. Since adding Cuckoo, Aliardi, Giftopoulos, and Koklachev, who played the last 2 seasons in Windsor, the Spitfires have claimed 5 of a possible 6 points and sit 6 points back of the Saginaw Spirit for the 8th and final playoff spot in the OHL's Western Conference. Reporting for Mediaplex News Now, I'm Rob Bennion.
It's finally over. The NHL lockout, that is. I sat down with Rob Bennion earlier today on the NHL Preview edition of Sports Talk to discuss the coming season.
Hi, welcome to the NHL Preview edition of Sports Talk. I'm Kenton Wolf.
And I'm Rob Bennion.
The lockout is officially over with the signing of the Memo of Understanding, officially ratifying the new collective bargaining agreement. Rob, with this, the 48-game schedule is coming. How do you see the East shaking up?
Well, I think with a shortened schedule, we're going to see the cream rise quickly to the top. Teams like the Boston Bruins, the New York Rangers are going to be the teams I'm looking to kind of to set the pace in the East. A team like the Carolina Hurricanes made some big additions in the offseason. Bringing in Alexander Semin, I think, is going to be a big pickup for them. And then, of course, you've always got the Pittsburgh Penguins. They play in a tough division, but I think the East is going to be very competitive.
You really got to see the New York Rangers rising to the top here. I think they're going to be the President's Trophy winners. Coming in second is going to be the Boston Bruins, and third, Washington. I think Carolina improved a lot, like you said, bringing in Jordan Staal to play with his brother, as well as Alexander Semin. And I think sneaking in will be Tampa Bay. I don't think Steven Stamkos can be stopped. His kind of goal scoring is invaluable.
Well, now that we've covered the Eastern Conference, Kenton, how do you see the Wild Wild West shaping up?
Well, I think the Stanley Cup champion LA Kings are going to come back for a really strong season. They only finished 8th last year in the West. I think we're going to see them take the top in the West, and I think Vancouver coming at second. Winning the very tight Central will be the St. Louis Blues. I see a lot of parity, though. I think 1 through 12 in the conference. The only teams I see can't make in the playoffs are Calgary, Columbus, and in Anaheim. But every other team, I think, has a shot to make not only make the playoffs, but finish anywhere in the West.
You know what? You hit the nail on the head there. The Central is going to be competitive, as it always is. But I think the LA Kings started to get it together the second half of the season last year. Obviously, spurred them onto that cup run. I'd look for them to pick up where they left off in June. Maybe got the Stanley Cup hangover out of the way now that we're starting in January. And I think Vancouver also has a very good shot of coming out of the West.
Without saying all of your awards winners, who do you think are going to be some of the standout players this season?
Well, you know, I'm looking to a guy like Sidney Crosby, who's obviously dominated the league since he came in, but you know, had some time off to get his health issues under control, and I think he's going to come back with a strong season. Probably walk away with some hardware at the end of the year. I'm looking to Henrik Lundqvist. I think the elite teams, the teams with the elite goaltenders, are going to ride their horses this season. Shortened schedule will probably play them upwards of 40, 44 games, and a guy like Lundqvist can carry that load, and I think he'll be definitely in the running for the Vezina at the end of the season, especially with that strong defense the Rangers are featuring.
Yeah, sticking with the theme of the New York Rangers winning the President's Trophy, I really think Henrik Lundqvist is going to take the Hart Trophy this year. Other names to look to are Evgeny Malkin. I think he's going to have another good goal-scoring year. He scored 50 last year. I wouldn't be surprised to see him lead the league this year, especially playing with Sidney Crosby for a full season on the power play. I think a team that's really going to break out this year is Minnesota. I can see their rookie Mikael Granlund, winning the Calder Trophy, as well as Mikko Koivu, maybe taking the Selke as the top defensive forward.
You know, speaking of the Calder Trophy for the league's top rookie, a guy like Chris Kreider got a bit of an audition last season in the playoffs with the New York Rangers. Showed he can play in the top 6. I think he's earned a spot there. We'll wait and see where John Tortorella plays him, but I think playing in that fantastic top 6 the New York Rangers have is going to be beneficial for him, and I think he'll be right there at the end of the season in the running for the Calder Trophy.
Yeah, I think other names to look to this year are the regulars: Drew Doughty, Zdeno Chara, Duncan Keith as top defensemen in the league. But maybe a name that might surprise some people is Alex Pietrangelo of the St. Louis Blues. I think he's ready to take the next step. He could win the Norris Trophy. I mean, I think him and Doughty will be battling it out all season long.
You know, he was right there last year, Alex Pietrangelo, that is, and he's a fantastic young defenseman coming out of St. Louis, and maybe a bit underrated because it's not a hockey hotbed necessarily. They're not on the primetime games all the time like some of the Atlantic Division teams, but Alex Pietrangelo is one of the elite defensemen in the NHL, and I would not be surprised at all to see him up there at the end of the year.
Maybe the hottest topic in hockey right now is where Vancouver goalie Roberto Luongo will end up. Rob, where do you see him going?
Well, I mean, there's no secret that he wants to go to Florida. Whether Florida's got the assets to make that deal happen with Vancouver remains to be seen. Toronto's obviously highly interested with their goaltending situation they've got going on, and their goaltending hasn't improved from last year. And in fact, they got rid of Jonas Gustafsson. So I guess Toronto is where I'm expecting him to go because I don't think Florida can pull off the deal.
Yeah, I can't see anybody other than Toronto getting him. They have the combination of assets and interest that no other team can compete with.
It'll be interesting to see if he does end up in Toronto, whether he can handle the fishbowl mentality of the Toronto media. He's going to be under a bigger microscope than he was in Vancouver, and we'll see how he rises to the challenge if he does indeed go to Toronto.
Yeah, I think if he does get traded, that completely changes the landscape of the NHL season, where teams like the Leafs finish, where the Canucks finish, where the Florida Panthers finish.
We might have to come back on here and do another updated predictions for our seasons, because that definitely, for me, brings the Leafs into my top 8 in the East for sure.
All right, well, this has been another edition of Mediaplex Sports Talk NHL Preview Edition. I'm Kenton Wolf.
And I'm Rob Bennion.
Ever wonder what it's like behind the scenes here at the Mediaplex? We here are proud of our facility and would like to share some of the unique features the building has to offer. Join our program coordinator, Veronique Mandel, as she gives a guided tour of our state-of-the-art facility.
Hello, I'm Veronique Mandel. I'm the coordinator of the journalism program here at St. Clair College. I'd like to introduce you to our new Mediaplex, but why don't we do it on a tour? Here we are on the second floor of the Mediaplex, and we're going to go into our state-of-the-art Newsplex. The Newsplex is, in fact, one of only 3 such newsplexes in the world. There is one at the University of South Carolina, there's one in Germany, and ours, the only one in Canada. I'd like to tell you about the newsroom and about the rest of the building. Now, we're going to start in the newsroom because that's where all the bells and whistles are, and that's what most of the students like to hear about. Here in our TV control room, our broadcast professors have all of the most modern, state-of-the-art equipment that the students will need to be prepared when they go out into broadcast newsrooms. There was a time when one piece of equipment could fill this entire room. Now they have very compact, state-of-the-art switchers. They have the latest editing equipment and teleprompters, everything they need so that we can make sure that they have all the skills that they need, and providing them tremendous tools, I think, is one of the tremendous assets that we have here in the Newsplex. Let's leave television now and make our way over to the radio studio. On the way, we'll pass what we call the hub. The hub is where students bring their work to editors and producers, and we spend a lot of time making sure that everything that leaves the hub is quality. It's ready to go to radio, television, on the web, and into their newspaper. Like our television studio, the radio studio is set up to give the students real-world feeling and experience. So we've created a control room. Here, they will learn not just to produce their own radio show, but also to learn production. Outside the production studio, they have a studio where they can actually put together their own shows. They can sit together and practice, or they can sit and interview live guests. And so it truly is a real-world experience for them, and a quality experience. The newsroom gets to be a very busy place because we also have radio editing stations, 4 of them in fact, where the students can work on their radio shows and then simply transfer them into radio control. In another section of the newsroom, we also have 4 state-of-the-art Avid editing suites, and will ensure that when the students leave us, they will be able to produce quality edited material anywhere in any newsroom across North America, and in fact anywhere in the world. To support all of the activity and the work that goes on in the newsroom, the students are supported by a number of state-of-the-art labs. These labs are really important because this gives them an opportunity to be able not just take part in classroom labs, but also it gives them an opportunity to work on their own, on their projects in the off time when they're not required in the newsroom or in a lecture. And in addition to the main labs, the students also have an open lab. And again, that open lab is available in the off time so that students, if they're out covering stories, can come in and work in the labs and send their work either to their radio server or to the television server, and of course, to their newspaper. Let's leave the newsroom now and take a look at the classrooms, because clearly it's not just the newsroom that forms this Mediaplex. The Mediaplex is a very composite building, and the students, of course, have lectures. They have a place to hang out. So why don't we go take a look? This is one of 4 multimedia classrooms here in the Newsplex, and you will also notice that each of the rooms has a tremendous amount of light. We've left large windows in these classrooms, and that's something that the students really appreciate, and they'll certainly appreciate on winter days. When the students leave these classrooms and they need a break, you'll notice that they walk along corridors that are pretty colorful. Even the lockers have bright colors, and you'll notice all the oranges and reds and greens in this building, and that was deliberate, because we wanted to make sure that this building was alive and the students felt that it was a place where they could come and be creative. And I think we've captured that. Here in the student lounge, the students have an opportunity to socialize, to take a break between classes, and plan what they're going to do on the weekend. And now, as we leave the Mediaplex, I hope that you've had an opportunity to see the state-of-the-art 21st century facility that we have here at St. Clair College. This will give students an opportunity to become the types of 21st century journalists that newsrooms around the world are going to require. I think we're preparing them very well for the next generation of journalism. Thanks for visiting. If you'd like to check us out for yourself, give me a call. I'm Veronique Mandel.
This time of year, many complain that it is cold and dark, but some downtown restaurants are making the long winter fun. Dana Poisson explains.
Winter bites, but not in a bad way. Starting today until January 20th, diners can enjoy a 3-course meal from restaurants all over the city.
Well, it's a great way to get a taste of local restaurants. You'll see how we are, you'll see the atmosphere, you get to experience just an overall wonderful local experience here, and you get to see what other local restaurants offer. If you're always afraid to check out new things, this is a great way to do it.
Winter Bites benefits Windsor and the restaurants by introducing the customers to different menu items as well as old favorites, and also the passport, which was a really cool idea this year. They're doing, you go to 3 different places and you get a discount.
Collect a stamp from each restaurant you go to spell out the word EAT and be entered in a prize draw.
The Manchester restaurant is offering a $25 dinner menu. So we're offering where you can get an option of an app, an entree, and a dessert for $25.
I think Winter Bites benefits Windsor and the restaurants by introducing the customers to different menu items as well as old favorites, and also the passport, which was a really cool idea this year. They're doing, you go to 3 different places and you get a discount.
For more information, check out their website at www.winterbites.ca. I'm Dana Poisson, reporting for Mediaplex News Now.
Thanks for tuning in. I'm Kenton Wolf, and you've been watching Mediaplex News Now.
Mediaplex News Now is a production of the St. Clair College Journalism Program.